That's right, it's time to go global now. We're starting from expectations for the week. We'll start from Indonesia, where that country is expected to release its consumer confidence data today. And then in Saudi Arabia, industrial production data is expected to be released today. And then for tomorrow, Tuesday, Japan's bank lending rate will be released. And from the UK, unemployment data will be released. On Wednesday, South Korea's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate is expected to be released, as well as German annual inflation rate and also Argentina inflation rate month on month is expected to be released tomorrow, on Wednesday, beg your pardon. Then on Thursday, U.S. initial jobless claims is expected. U.S. Consumer Price Index, that's also expected on Thursday. France unemployment rate, as well as Brazil car production. Those are the data expected for Thursday. On Friday, U.S. core PPI, that's a production price index, that's expected on Friday. China unemployment rate is expected on Friday also, as well as Spain core inflation rate. So those are the expectations for this week, global economic data that's expected this week. And then to stories making the rounds this time is China. China has suspended sanctions on U.S.-linked subsidiaries of South Korea's Hanwha Ocean Co. Limited for a year, and that's according to Commerce Ministry. The suspension of sanctions imposed on October 14 takes effect immediately, and most investors will find it hard to answer that question with total confidence, short of a guarantee, which no one can give, the most successful traders have said. And still talking along that line, we also see that China has suspended some critical mineral export curbs to the United States. Has rolled back a number of restrictions on its export of critical minerals and rare earth minerals to the United States in a sign that trade truce between the world's two largest economy is holding. And talking about the United States, I think the biggest news at this time is that the United States Senate has advanced bill to end the federal shutdown. We know this is the longest in the history of the United States. Let's find out from Maria Bird how the people are feeling it, our correspondent in Washington, D.C. Hi, Maria. Good morning and welcome to the program. How are you guys feeling this shutdown?
Well, this shutdown has drastically impacted Americans. As we know, there's over 2 million federal government employees who have either been furloughed or out of work for these now 40 days that the government has been shut down. And I heard you mention earlier that the bill advanced through the Senate late yesterday evening, probably early in the morning in Nigeria, as senators were up very late. And what this really means is that there are a few Democrats that have band together and have been able to negotiate a deal. The challenge with this deal is that this does not include some of the healthcare pieces that Democrats were very clear and focused on, which is part of how they've not been able to come to an agreement. But the Republicans have agreed to a vote on a healthcare bill very soon. And this, what they've advanced, will only keep the government open until January 30th. Bearing in mind, though, this does not mean the government will open immediately or very soon. You still have to have the House to come back in session. And if the House is not able to move this forward, we could be at another standstill.
Wow, that's, I mean, because I wanted to ask, can we expect the shutdown to end soon, since we see the Senate moving forward with this bill, or do we have any timeline in mind?
Well, if the House comes back and does what's very similar to what the Senate did, and there are some centrist Democrats that are able to come together and agree on this bill, then yes, we could be looking at 24, 48 hours for the government to reopen. If we're not able to do that and the House is not able to come back into session today, later today, and vote, we may see till the end of the week. There might have to be further negotiation. I think that this was one step, but there's still several more to go. And hoping, too, that the president does sign, if it does pass both the House and Senate, the president will sign the bill, because there are some things in there that the president was not necessarily in favor for, and especially the one around the Obamacare healthcare policy having a vote in the near future and being reviewed.
So any updates on the fate of the workers? You know, President Trump had said he was going to fire some of them and all of that.
So what the bill does state, which is another, I'm glad you mentioned that, is another area that could be a little contentious, is the fact that they've requested that all furloughed employees receive all of their back pay and that there's no future risks. And those who have been, to your point of risks, meaning laid off, are reinstated into their jobs. And so those reinstated, that could be a bit of a challenge there as well. That's a bit of a controversial topic.
All right, Maria, thank you so much. We do hope to hear good news. Perhaps the lawmakers are able to convene and try to accelerate this, and especially about the health bill. Of course, that's really, really important. We hope to hear some good news from that. Thank you so much for joining in the program.